Hi there, everyone. How are you today? Apologies, I'm on late. I lost my phone. I know it's ridiculous, but there you are. Had my phone, ran around looking for it, couldn't find it anywhere, and then located it in the car holder where I'd had it when I ran to the store, drove to the store quick, and there we are. So I found it and then decided I'll just start again on the hour instead of halfway to the hour. So there we are. All right. So welcome, welcome. And today we are on day 6 already. So congratulations to all of you who have come along for the ride so far. Hopefully you're doing really well. I love all the comments. Thanks for all the DMs. I know sometimes people don't want to write in the group their things that they want to chat about. And I 100% get that because sometimes things are personal, but most of the time through menopause, what you are feeling, what you're experiencing, pretty much there are thousands and thousands of other women exactly the same. But sometimes it is a little uncomfortable to actually chat about it. So I appreciate the ones that are through the DMs and we've had a good chat. So that's really great. I haven't put a lot of the things onto the main part of the group, but as we go along, I'll add in some recipes, I'll add in some other things, which will obviously help also answer those kind of questions that people might have. And we still might even discuss them before the end of the reboot. So, day 6 today. So, day 5, tell me who managed to get their wind down ritual done yesterday. So, if you weren't with us yesterday, the idea was that you have a wind down ritual, which signals to your brain it's now time for bed. So, whether it is, you've done all your dinner, you're going to have a cup of tea perhaps and sit somewhere nice and cozy and read a few chapters of your book. Whether it's all right now, the kids are in bed, you're going to watch one of your series, one, one episode of your series. I know we all get caught up in that. And then before you know it, you watch two or three. Back in the day when they only used to drop one episode per week, life was easier. Now you can binge a whole season or two. Anyway, so that is just a signal to your brain that it's actually time now for bed. So the idea was that everybody just takes a photo of the area, that perhaps the book on the couch, or perhaps you've got a mat that you like to sort of meditate and relax or stretch on, whatever that is. And remember, a glass of water next to your bed is absolutely ideal to sip on in the middle of the night if you're a little bit thirsty. And first thing in the morning, before you brush off to have your coffee, hydration is key. And most of the time, if you've had a meal within the last sort of 4 hours, if you're feeling hungry, it's probably you're feeling thirsty. So first we drink the water and then give it a minute and then you decide if you're hungry. And in the morning, having the water helps to flush through the system. It just helps to get those toxins that are just sitting around in our gut. It just helps to get things moving along. All right. So today we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's strength and walking, conditioning. I love that. So a couple of years ago, when I realized I was in perimenopause, menopause, kind of like in the middle of the transition of the two, um, I found myself feeling most uncomfortable and decided that walking was key. So I was just, it just naturally, the moment arose and I went walking. And I found it so relaxing. I was able to actually listen to podcasts while I walked. It's actually really quite amazing the amount of calm that it brings the body. It's obviously great for cortisol. Just brings the calm, but it's also keeping you moving. So it's great for your metabolism. It's great for your heart. Great for your lungs. Lots of breathing. Fresh air. That's really good. And then of course that helps to just relax as well. Drops the cortisol levels, which is key. Um, so I also realized with the walking, it wasn't a high impact. And I used to suffer from quite bad knee pain and realized that, what, actually walking, I don't have that problem. I do take omega supplements to help along with that, but even so, those really weren't working. But once I incorporated the walking, it actually just seemed like, sort of grease the joints. It worked really well. And I was doing intermittent fasting, and I had such great results in weight loss and toning up that I absolutely swear by that now. So walking is my favorite way of exercising. So after you're 35, you'll notice that you actually start losing quite a bit of muscle mass, unless you are an avid gym goer or you keeping up with your sport. But usually women will lose about 3.5 8%, give or take, of muscle mass per decade. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but actually, when you lose your muscle mass, you also lose your strength. And if you lose your muscle mass, you also obviously the amount of calories that you can burn is lowered, and therefore your metabolism lowered, and so therefore you could put on weight. So it is a vicious circle. So ideally, what you want to do is maintain the strength in your body. So how do you do that? Well, the idea is not that you dash off then to the gym, get yourself a personal trainer and all the rest. You start off slowly. So absolutely, if you can get to the gym and get yourself a PT, that's absolutely wonderful. But you can do this by yourself at home to start with. So ideally, what we want to do is work on our flexibility as well, because as you get older, you will stiffen up. And I know a lot of you are like in your mid 40s and your 50s, and you're like, oh, please. But you know what? There comes a time where cutting your toenails might be a bit of an issue. Tying your shoelaces might be an issue. So strength and conditioning and flexibility are key as we get older. And we take it for granted when we're younger because until something goes wrong, you don't know that it was going right. Does that make sense? So, everybody always is like, oh, well, I won't, especially when it comes to supplements, people are like, I don't need that because I'm actually super healthy. And the problem is you only realize that maybe you weren't as healthy as you thought you were when you suddenly become unhealthy and you have some illness or something hits you and you go, oh, maybe I should have taken that supplement, vitamin C, whatever it is. Anyway, so the key thing is to keep up with your strength and conditioning and keep up with your muscle toning. That's very, very important. Obviously, also, if you are looking great, feeling great, toned up, your confidence level is obviously higher. So you don't feel uncomfortable in your clothes. You're able to walk longer distances. You can participate in more things because you're not tired. And as I said, your obviously your metabolism is that much better because you've got that little bit more muscle mass, which helps to burn up all the calories. And also remembering when you're doing walking, it is a low impact. It's not like running, which can have impact on your hips and your obviously all your joints, your hips and your knees and your ankles. So walking is a much more of a low impact exercise. It also supports your heart health, and that makes sense because you're doing a lot of breathing. It helps to improve your circulation. Obviously, the more circulation, that helps the body to release the toxins that are floating around in your blood because everything moves on a little bit faster. It all works together like a fabulously well-oiled machine. So a bit of exercise just helps everything to work that much better. And then great for your joint health, obviously, because walking is a low impact and it isn't really banging on your joints so much. As you get older, there is always that risk of osteoporosis, especially in women in menopause. There is a possibility of fractures. If you by mistake were to slip and fall, there's a higher chance, obviously, of fractures as you get older because your bone density is less. In fact, there was a research paper that came out a little while ago, which was actually saying that women should, in fact, get their bone density test done when they are 25 and thereafter every 5 years. So you need the marker of when you're young and in your 20s. Obviously, you can do it when you're a little bit older, but the marker won't be as clear. So you have it when you're 25, and then every 5 years, you'd see your bone density. And obviously, that will help you to monitor your nutrition and your exercise and sleep, your whole lifestyle, when you notice how the bone density will go down. And with your hormones changing in perimenopause and menopause, it will change because that is just the nature of age and the nature of our hormones just declining. So it's very important just to keep an eye on that because as women do get older, these are real things that can go wrong. If you were to fall, instead of maybe just falling and being able to get up with an odd bruise, you could literally fracture your hip or break your hip, and that is a real problem. Um, and remembering these are things that we're thinking about for the future, and we're hoping they're just not going to happen. But as you get older, your recovery time takes way longer. If you're in your 20s, you fall down and break your arm for whatever reason, you're going to recover 6 weeks. The bone has mended, and then within a couple more weeks, it's quite strong again. When you're older, that is going to take a lot longer time. It's harder to do all the rehab around it. Whereas when you're younger, it's not such a chore, should I say. So we want to try and keep as healthy and strong as we can as we age, just so that we eliminate as many problems that we can. So that when we get older, things that maybe we weren't able to dodge, then we can manage those perhaps better. So The idea is that you stay fit and strong so that you're capable, that you can do things for yourself in years to come. So how are we going to get the strength and movement into your day? Now, again, don't have to be at the gym for half an hour to an hour every day. A couple of times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. You can do some body weight exercises. You can do some squats. You can do some lunges. You can do push-up planks. There's all different modifications. So if you were quite a fit person and you wanted to do a plank, you could. Now the plank, obviously, you just sitting like this, lying like this, should I say. So obviously, if you're not so strong or you're older, you can drop your hips to the floor. The idea is so that you're getting the core strength, and that's very, very important. There's a lot of modifications that you can actually get. And in fact, on the next post, I'm going to drop down some little exercise routine for you. And obviously, if there's exercises on there that you don't think could work for you, or you do have a back or a hip or an arm or a shoulder, whatever problem, then just send me a DM or drop it in the comments and we'll send you the modification exercise for that. Okay, so I want you to aim for about 7,000 steps a day. You can do your 10,000. That's what they worked it out at. 10 is 10. If you can do it, great. If you on your iPhone, if you have the little health app, the little red heart, or just type into search health, activate that. That'll just naturally count your steps for you every day when you've got your phone with you. So wherever you go, put your phone in your pocket, because even walking around the house or down and around and in the office, it's going to add up the steps. It doesn't mean you have to be going 7,000 steps or 10,000 steps, or you don't have to be doing that. It's just the general amount of steps that you've taken, and then therefore that works out about how many calories that you've actually burnt up in the day. Okay, so obviously you're going to try and watch your meals, and you're going to watch your that you try and substitute out your processed food, and you're going to try and eat as much whole food as possible with great hydration. Obviously sleep as much as you can. But also to help your body with the digestion. So if possible, when you've done with your dinner or you've done with your lunch, if you could take yourself on a little walk, maybe a couple of kilometers, 2, 3 miles, whatever you can manage, great. If it doesn't really work for you, then you could walk around your house. But the idea is that you actually get outside, do the breathing, and it does help with digestion and obviously with circulation. So, like I said before, if you listen to a podcast or something while you're walking, unless you're walking, with somebody else, then clearly you should probably speak to them. But otherwise, you can just listen to your own podcast, and that's fine. So, daily task, right? So, I'm going to suggest that you walk for 10 to 15 minutes a day, or you do a quick strength session, or you do some stretching or some yoga, which I absolutely love. Now, if you go on to YouTube, there's two ladies that I absolutely love. The one lady is Cassandra, and the other lady is Adrian. So if you type in, just say yoga Cassandra, yoga Adrian, they'll come up. They've got so many different levels of fitness and flexibility there. Start with beginner and move on from there. And they are very good, and they've got great ideas, and everything can be done at home. So you just need a mat or a towel for your floor if you're going to sit on a nice towel and a nice soft carpet. Otherwise, some kind of like a mat or something, and you can do your exercises there. So that's Cassandra and Adrian. I'll drop the link in the comments to their two different YouTube accounts, and you can go and have a look there. They're brilliant. All right, so I will drop that little exercise routine in the next post for you. Also, just to remember, as you are aging, because we all are, and funny enough, I spoke to a friend of mine today, and she is only just over into her 40s, early 40s, and she said to me, it's a long time before she gets to menopause. And in our minds, this is true. Like menopause, people think it's okay when you're 50 or 52, whatever, that's the day. The day itself is only one day of the menopause, the date that it actually occurs on, which for all of those who don't know, it's basically from the time that you've had your last period for a whole 12 months that you don't have another one. That's the day, right? So then you're on menopause, then you're in menopause, and then you postmenopausal. So perimenopause actually is where you're going to experience all of these symptoms, but we just call it menopause because it sounds just easier like that. So because your hormones start to decline in your late 30s. In fact, they start declining a little bit in their middle 30s, but they decline definitely through your late 30s and then into your 40s and then your 50s through until you get to the actual menopause date. you may not notice, but it doesn't mean you're going to get all the symptoms. Little things will start happening, and the weight will come on, and then maybe you don't sleep so well, and you might have some teeth issues, and then you might have some itchy issues. And it isn't because people say, "Oh, that's perimenopause." It's these things just sort of happen, and I think a lot of women sort of brush it off. But in fact, these are menopause symptoms, and these are signals to you. Go check your hormone levels. Go and see if you don't need a supplement of some sort. Now, for me, I love taking protein supplements. I love vegan protein supplements. I don't do dairy. For me, it has too much inflammation for me. I haven't had a great experience with it. I have tried pea protein. That's pretty good. But the protein powder that I use now is from a company called Juice Plus. I've also got a link somewhere around here, I think in my profile. It's absolutely brilliant. Mix it with water. 2 scoops, which is like 40 grams of the product, is 25 grams of pure protein, 100% vegan. It's lactose free and it's gluten free, and there's no GMO, which means there's no nasty little other additives that they've put in there. There's no filler, there's nothing. It's literally just the proteins that they've taken from plants, and it's got like a berry kind of flavor. It's actually stunning. So I just take it with me wherever I go. I take it to the gym, take it if I'm going on a walk. It's great for muscle recovery afterwards. And because it's actually got so much vitamin B1, 2, 5, and 6. It's also got some vitamin D in there as well, and vitamin C. But because of all those vitamin Bs, which are known as our energy vitamin, it actually helps to convert the nutrients in your body into energy. So you have this energy before you go to the gym. So you can drink half of it before you go to the gym and the balance of it afterwards for muscle recovery. So you could have half and half or whichever you prefer. I absolutely love it. It's called Perform. So if you have a look, I'll drop the site below. Look for Perform protein. It's like a purple bag, and it's absolutely stunning. So that's all we have to say about that. So have a look for the notes for today. Get some movement done. Do your steps, as many steps as you can maybe manage to do. Let's get some lunges done, some stretching done. Look in the comments. I'm going to drop Adrian and Cassandra's YouTube videos for some light yoga stretches. If you'd like to try that out, it's absolutely brilliant. Also have a look for the protein powder link that I'm going to drop here below as well. What else did I want to tell you? That's pretty much it. Okay, so try keep up with all the different things that we've been doing right since the beginning. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. I know it's Sunday, but there you are. We do these things every day. So we've got 10 days in total. And so I think we'll be done on Wednesday. And then we're going to have a catch-up call on Thursday. And I've got some very exciting news to tell you. So let's enjoy the rest of your day, your afternoon, your evening, and I'll chat to you then. All right. Thanks for joining me. Bye.